What is up, YouTube? Today we're watching the entire FNAF timeline by FNAF. I saw recently that it was the 12th anniversary for FNAF, so I actually wanted to record a video for you guys. And if you didn't know, I'm a big scaredy cat, so that's a big reason why I didn't play none of the FNAF games. I played probably like 1 and 2, but I never finished none of the games because I got too scared to finish them. So today we're gonna be seeing the entire FNAF timeline. As always, leave a like, comment, subscribe, and let's get right into it.
She can dance. She can sing.
This video contains flashing lights and jump scares. Oh no, bro. If I get jump scared, I swear.
Five Nights at Freddy's is a franchise with over a decade's worth of content, spanning countless games, books, and now a movie.
Wait, how many games are there actually?
No matter whose timeline you watch,
I don't actually know how many games there are.
Different. Making a FNAF timeline is not easy. There are so many ways you can interpret this story, and this is mine.
1993?
So let's start
1983. 1970s? It goes back that long ago?
Back in the 70s, a company called Fazbear Entertainment got its start by creating different props and mascot costumes for carnivals, and specifically for something called the Fall Fest. The Fall Fest featured various mascot characters, such as a bird, an elephant, and the most popular of all, Fredbear and Bonnie. These specific mascot costumes were so popular, Fazbear Entertainment opened a dedicated restaurant for them called Fredbear's Family Diner, featuring the same Fredbear and Bonnie mascot costumes from the Fall Fest. What Fazbear Entertainment didn't account for, though, was one of their animatronics from the Fall Fest going rogue.
What the hell?
Ending in a giant fire, with most of everything from the Fall Fest being destroyed.
Holy. Oh, wait, this looks sick. Well, this animation is really cool. What the hell? It's from the game. Oh no, they made it, I think. Featuring animations, yeah. Now this is actually sick. What the hell? Holy. Oh, I know this video's gonna be good. What the hell?
The specifics about the animatronic that went rogue and the fire are unknown and will likely be revealed next year in FNAF's
Secret of the Mimic? Did that game come out?
Although we don't know much about how this fire occurred, we do know that after the fire,
oh my god, the other ones look so ugly. They look so rotten.
Out of the mascot costume era. They needed something new. The two men who helped found Fazbear Entertainment, William Afton and Henry Emily, stepped up to the plate. William Afton was mostly the businessman of the two, handling all of the money.
Wait, is this the purple guy?
Henry was the more
I sure heard memes of him.
With him being in charge of building most of the animatronics and props for the company. With the
so he makes the animatronics
coming to a close, they were only left with Fredbear's Family Diner, the standalone restaurant created for the Fredbear and Bonnie characters.
Yeah, these animatronics look better than other ones.
To replace the mascot versions of Fredbear and Bonnie, Henry went to work on new versions of the characters, eventually creating the new Fredbear and
now that looks creepy as hell. I would not go here.
New designs and new suits. Henry called them Springlock suits.
Training a type.
These suits are able to double as both an animatronic and a suit that the employees could wear. To switch the suit from animatronic mode to suit mode, the employees could use a hand crank to pull back the animatronic parts, leaving room for them to climb inside. The springlocks that were helping to hold back those animatronic parts were very sensitive though, and with even a little bit of moisture, the springlocks could potentially snap shut, crushing and killing whoever was inside. But if that ended up happening, Fazbear Entertainment had some common sense procedures set in place.
In the case that the springlocks come loose while you are wearing a suit, please try to maneuver away from populated areas before bleeding out, as to not ruin the customary...
Are you serious?
Fredbear's Family Diner ended up being super successful for William and Henry.
Yeah, just get out of the way.
Other companies tried replicating it. Another company proceeded to rip off Fazbear Entertainment's old mascot characters by creating their own animatronic versions of them.
These look
the
nicer.
leader of the group was Nedbear, a direct copy of Fredbear, followed by a hippo, an elephant, and a frog. All characters from the Fall Fest,
way they just copied the same
with slightly different designs to avoid copyright issues. But while the rival company was able to replicate the designs, they could not replicate Henry's state-of-the-art technology. Their robots were poorly made and had to have giant batteries with
that would be a problem because then people would be like,
with them. Naturally, the rival company failed and
ended up being bought out by
Fazbear Entertainment. With all of the success from Fredbear's Family Diner, William and Henry decided to branch out and create more characters for a new restaurant. In 1983,
I've seen those are the characters I've seen
Henry
before.
Opened Freddy Fazbear's
1983?
Pizza, featuring Freddy Fazbear, Bonnie, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy.
Yep.
With the opening
From the
of
first
Freddy
game.
Fazbear's Pizza, Fazbear Entertainment was experiencing success like they've never seen before. But with 2 restaurants now open at the same time, more success also meant more work for William and Henry. The duo were so wrapped up in work that they started neglecting their own families. William was the father of 3 kids, the eldest, Michael, the crying child, and Elizabeth.
Why is his name just
the
crying child?
child has yet to have a 100% confirmed name,
Oh,
so
I
for
see.
this video,
Okay.
he will just be called the crying child. Meanwhile, Henry had 1 kid, a daughter named Charlie. The business partners spent most of their days working, so they both created different ways of taking care of their kids. Henry was the robotics genius, so he used his talents to create a new animatronic to watch Charlie for him.
Oh, hell no,
It
that
was
looks
called
creepy.
The security puppet.
Security
this animatronic
puppet?
would sit by the door of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza
Oh,
and
nah,
make sure
bro, I'll
that
be
Charlie
shitting
wasn't
my
able
pants.
to leave the building. This made it so Charlie
I would
could play at
definitely
the
leave.
restaurant while Henry worked, without Henry having to worry about her leaving the building or getting kidnapped. The robot was linked directly to a green bracelet that Charlie was wearing. If Charlie, wearing the green bracelet, tried leaving the building, the security puppet would spring into action. William, on the other hand, was the businessman of the company. He cared more about making money, but also saving money. Naturally, he decided to just force his eldest son Michael to babysit while he was at work. Michael was mostly in charge of babysitting the crying child. The crying child didn't have many friends, but he did have a close relationship with his plushies. These plushies were of characters from his favorite show, Fredbear and Friends, Fazbear Entertainment's newest cartoon, featuring Fredbear, Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy. The crying child's favorite character, though, was Fredbear. He especially loved his Fredbear plushie. Although he loved the plushie version of the characters, the animatronics would soon become a different story. One day, while visiting Fredbear's family diner, the crying child saw something that would scar him for the rest of his life. While wandering the restaurant, he walked by the employees only room, where an employee accidentally left the door open. Inside the room was his father, William Afton, helping another employee into a spring Bonnie suit. But through the eyes of the crying child, this looked like someone was literally being stuffed into an animatronic
and he's a kid, so he's gonna believe.
The crying child was so young that he wasn't educated on how the mascot characters worked. So seeing a human be put inside of one terrified him. When a child experiences something traumatic, their brain naturally tries finding ways to deal with that trauma. The crying child's way of dealing with his trauma was by creating an imaginary friend. This imaginary friend took the form of the object he loved the most.
Don't be scared, I'm here with
his
you.
Fredbear
Oh, hell
plushie.
nah.
His new imaginary friend Fredbear followed him wherever he went, shape-shifting into flowers, hiding behind cars, and in the sewers, with nobody being
So he's
able
a stalker,
to see
basically.
him except for the crying child. When the crying child was overwhelmed, the plushie would talk to him and try to calm him down. Even when the plushie wasn't around, it was still able to speak to him because it lived in his mind. While the crying child was dealing with the trauma of seeing what he thinks was someone being stuffed into a suit, his brother Michael was only making it worse. Michael knew about what happened with his younger brother and used it against him. Every day while babysitting the crying child, Michael would put on a Foxy mask, hide somewhere in the house, and jump scare.
Why the hell would he do
brother.
that? Oh, hell nah, bro. If I could just get, I'm actually gonna... I swear to God, bro. I better not get jump scared.
From the pizzeria to your living room, you no longer have to
Yup.
wait to sing and dance with Fredbear and Friends. Weeknights at 8, 7 Central. Only on...
Why would you turn off the TV? The only source of light you have. What the fuck is that? Guys, I'm actually getting scared. I don't like this. What the fuck? Oh, hell no. I'm getting terrified. Oh no. Oh my. Please, please, I need to look away. Oh no. Ow.
Through all of Michael's bullying, the crying
That is not
child's
nice, bro.
imaginary friend Fredbear
What
would
the
comfort
hell?
him and talk him through the situation, saying, "You know,
I'm
he
too
is
scared,
hiding
but I
again.
don't-
Be careful. Tomorrow
I
is
don't-
another day."
I'm too scared
Michael
to be
wasn't
getting
the
jump
only
scared.
one bullying the crying child, though. The local kids in the neighborhood heard about why the crying child was so scared of the pizzeria, even
I'll be
making up
too.
fake rumors related to what the
What?
crying child thought he saw there. "You'd better watch out. I hear they come
What the
to life
fuck?
at night. And if you die, they hide your body and
What?
never tell anyone." But all
These
of this
kids are
bullying
devious as
would come
hell.
to
What
a
the
head
fuck?
on one special day, the crying child's birthday. Ironically, his birthday party was being held at Fredbear's family diner. Because he was so terrified of being at the pizzeria, he hid under the table, not knowing that Michael and his friends were nearby, planning a prank that would go terribly wrong.
Am I gonna get jump scared again? What is this?
Make sure you grab your pizza. Fredbear and Spring Bonnie will be.
Oh hell no, they do not look
5
friendly at all.
minutes.
What does FNAF say? Har 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 har. Har, 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 har. Look, he's singing right now. He's singing. Oh, what the fuck? Who the hell is that? Oh hell no. Har, 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 har. Oh, what the? What is it? What?
Michael and his friends lifted the crying child up to, quote, give Fredbear a big kiss, and
What?
Fredbear bit down on him.
Oh, wait,
leaving
is
his
that
body
the
to
Battle of
go limp.
87?
Michael and his friends quickly stopped laughing. Because of Michael's
I mean, it's
immature
so funny.
behavior, his terrified
From
younger
Markiplier, wait,
brother
is it
paid
the
the
Battle of
ultimate
87?
price. Although the crying child was badly hurt, he didn't immediately die. Because of the immense brain damage, he slipped into a coma. After
Damn.
being treated at a hospital, the crying child was taken home so he could be comfortable, surrounded by his only friends, his plushies. In the crying child's final
the
moments,
hell? This is
Michael
sad.
decides to apologize for what he's done, saying, "Can you hear me? I don't know if you can hear me. I'm sorry." After Michael speaks, the crying child's imaginary friend Fredbear, created out of the trauma he experienced, continues doing what it's done the whole time. It comforts him, saying, "You're broken. We are still your friends. Do you still believe that? I'm still here. I will put you back together." This would be the
What?
final thing the crying child hears before he dies. The
Oh,
crying child's
damn.
spirit would then live on in the Fredbear suit, the thing that took his
Lives on
life.
the
The crying
Fredbear
child's
suit?
death wasn't just an accident.
Wait, so does
It
he
was
become like
directly
the
caused by
animatronic?
Michael's recklessness. This is something that Michael could potentially face jail time for, so it needed to be covered up. Since the crying child was being kept at home, no one else knew that he ended up passing away.
What?
So William and Michael ended up burying the crying child's body in the middle of the woods where no one would find him. No
What? That's so
tombstone,
sad.
no flowers, just a pile of dirt, an unmarked grave, and a lifetime's worth of guilt that Michael would have to live with. Shortly after the incident, Fredbear's
Damn,
family
all
diner
because
was quickly
his
shut
brother
down,
wanted to do
and
something
Fredbear was
stupid.
completely wiped from existence. The Fredbear
Now, I kinda feel
and
bad
Friends
for
TV
both of them,
show
though.
turned into
He didn't mean to
Freddy
kill
and
him, but-
Friends on tour. The Fredbear and Spring Bonnie Springlock suits also ended up being moved into the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, mainly being used as spare suits if one of the Freddy's animatronics broke down. The death of William Afton's youngest son was a pivotal moment in this story.
I can't take that scene
Specifically,
seriously. I
William
keep on thinking about
Afton's
the
story. This
Markiplier
was the
meme.
first domino to fall. A father losing his son is a traumatic situation, and while any other father would take time to grieve, be
Right.
sad, and properly deal with such a big loss, William Afton took a different route. Afton
Oh, no, here we
definitely
go.
was upset about his son dying, but it wasn't because he felt bad for his son. It was because it was embarrassing to him. William
What?
Afton was a narcissist. He had little
Yeah,
to
what
no
the fuck?
empathy. All he cared about was work and comparing himself to his business partner, Henry. Henry had a wife, a kid, and a talent for robotics that Afton was utterly jealous of. The death of the crying child sent
Wow.
Afton over the edge because while Henry's family was still perfect, his was now broken. Henry and William
Oh, now
had
he's gonna
different
kill
ways
her,
of taking
huh?
care of their
'Cause
kids. And
he's a
while
psychopath.
Afton employing his eldest son failed, Henry's security puppet succeeded.
Right.
Henry's daughter Charlie lived on. Afton had a hard time dealing with this feeling of embarrassment. He started becoming an alcoholic, frequently visiting the local bar called Junior's.
Juniors? Is this the place for SpongeBob? Winnie Hut Junior? What the hell is this place, bro? This is not a
though,
bar
after
shop,
drinking
bro.
a little too much and getting kicked out of the bar, he decided that he was going to settle the score with Henry. Afton, drunk and filled with rage, drove from the bar
Drunk
to
and driving.
Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, where he knew
My two favorite
Charlie
things,
was being
guys.
watched over by Henry's security puppet. Afton planned on risking everything to kill Henry's daughter, Charlie. He didn't care if he got caught, and he didn't care if he went to prison. But when Afton got to Freddy's, he noticed that Charlie was standing outside.
Oh no,
by
here we go.
herself. It turned out that some bullies were able to trap the security puppet in its box and lock
Bro,
Charlie
kids are so
outside
dumb.
the building, giving Afton
Why
the
would they do
perfect
that?
opportunity to kill Charlie outside of the pizzeria. The security puppet
Is that
was
what we call it, an
eventually able to
opportunity?
escape its box and went looking for Charlie.
Right.
As Afton sped away, the puppet noticed that Charlie was outside in the pouring rain. It then did what it was programmed to do and went to protect her.
What the hell?
But as the puppet got closer to Charlie's body, the rain started making it short circuit. It was forced to crawl its way over to her until the rain got to be too much, and the puppet shut down right next to Charlie's body.
wow.
While Charlie and the puppet lay lifeless next to each other, Afton was speeding home.
So does that mean
driving
that
right
Charlie
past where he buried his
is the
son
puppet?
and the bar he got kicked out of. When Afton got home, he was met with his wife sitting in the living room watching TV.
Oh,
and Michael
there's the wife?
in his bedroom. Afton was a drunk and abusive father, and
Oh,
fully
what the hell?
blamed Michael for what happened to his youngest
Bro,
son. Mrs.
dad
Afton
is
tells
such a
him
piece
to
of shit.
leave Michael alone because he's had a tough day.
Right.
But Afton doesn't listen. He
Of course
goes
he
over to
doesn't.
Michael's room and pounds on the
psychopath.
door, only for the door to be locked.
Close
He
the
then
door.
makes his way around the house to try and find a way in from the outside. But once he gets to Michael's bedroom window,
the hell?
he notices that it's broken, and Michael was gone. Michael was so upset by what he did to his brother that he
Right.
would sometimes see visions of Fredbear appear and disappear. Tonight, Fredbear appeared outside his bedroom window,
Oh, so he's getting
and
some,
it
like,
almost felt
PTSD.
like his brother was calling out to him
Or some trauma.
from beyond the grave. This would happen frequently, and every
Oh,
time it
hell
did,
no.
Michael would run to the spot where they buried his younger brother, only to find that nothing had changed. His younger brother was
Wow.
still gone and buried in the ground. Afton knew Michael did this often, saying, "Ran off to that place again. He will be sorry when he gets back."
Oh
The
my
guilt
God,
of
bro.
killing his younger
This-
brother
what's his
haunted
name? William
Michael
Afton
in
is
his
so-
real life, but
so
also
messed
in
up,
his
bro.
dreams. Michael would constantly have nightmares about the animatronic that took his brother's life. These were the
Right.
exact same nightmares his younger brother used to have every night, now passed on to
Oh
him.
damn. Oh, here we go again. What the hell is that? Oh, hell nah. What the fuck? Bro, oh my god, please do not. Don't do it, please. Huh? What is that? I swear, oh my god, please. Please don't just scare me, bro. Is it fine? Yeah, so many teeth. What the hell? That is not an animatronic. Oh no, here we go. Oh no. Oh my god, thank
After
god
the
it
death
wasn't a
of
jump
Charlie,
scare.
Fazbear Entertainment tried their best at covering it up. Fortunately for them and for William, the crime was committed outside, where no one was around to witness it. William was able to
Oh.
get away with everything, while Fazbear Entertainment never spoke of the incident again. The security puppet was
Average
quickly
company.
moved to the back room of Freddy Fazbear's
Average company in
Pizza, where the
1970s.
retired Fredbear and Springlocks
When was it? 1983 actually.
resided. But something was different about
what he
the
said, I
security
think.
puppet. Dark tears now appeared on the mask of the
Oh.
animatronic.
What?
Dark tears that weren't there before. This is something that Afton quickly noticed the next day when he went into work. He'd heard about what happened moments after he sped off. He knew the security puppet was found laying next to Charlie's body. So
Right.
does that mean Charlie's soul now resided in the puppet? William definitely noticed that the puppet looked different, almost like it was haunted, almost like it was thinking. Other employees would eventually notice the same thing.
I'll be honest, I never liked that puppet thing. It's always thinking and it can go anywhere.
After realizing the security puppet may be possessed by the spirit of Charlie, Afton went back and looked at the crying child's Fredbear plushie, only to find that it also seemed to be haunted. The crying child feared for his life every single day, and that plushie was something he was able to cry and pour his agony into. Afton believed that this is what caused the plushie to appear haunted. It wasn't made alive by the spirit of his son, it was made alive by the agony and fear his son poured into it. Afton quickly became obsessed with the concept of haunted objects.
He did. He's
and more specifically,
psychopath.
the power of human emotion. He needed to find out if this is something he could take advantage of. Afton then used all of his money he made from Fredbear's and Freddy Fazbear's Pizza to build a giant underground facility directly under his house. It was here that he would try to recreate what happened with his son, to recreate the fear and agony he experienced. In order to do this, Afton didn't take any chances. He needed to replicate exactly what his son went through every day. In order to do this, Afton built a replica of his house underground, along with his son's daily walk to Fredbear's family
How did he actually do that? Can anyone comment explain to me how he did this?
He could force kids to have the same nightmare every night. Afton would sit in his office watching them on the cameras that could be accessed using the passcode 1983, the year his son got bit. He also kept the crying child's Fredbear plushie on the desk as a reminder of what he was trying to replicate. In the makeshift bedroom, there were dummy animatronics that wheeled down the hallway.
What?
But the kids wouldn't see them as just blank dummies on wheels. Afton would pump hallucinogenic gas into the room to get the kids to think that what they were seeing
that's why they look so weird.
These nightmare gas canisters were being stored all throughout his underground
It makes sense because I was
facility.
confused why they would make an animatronic with so many teeth. I was like, what?
Was a Freddy plushie, in the hopes that the kids would pour their fear and agony into the plush, like his son did to his plushie. On the other side of the bunker, where Afton recreated the crying child's walk to Fredbear's, he placed a bunch of Fredbear plushies all over the place. These Fredbear plushies had walkie-talkies inside of them. This was Afton's way of recreating his son's imaginary friend that would talk to him wherever he went. Afton would speak to the kids through his walkie-talkie sitting in his private office. After setting up the bunker, Afton was only missing one more thing: the kids to run these experiments on. He needed a way to kidnap and capture kids without being caught.
Yeah, very normal. Just kidnap kids.
Way to do it.
What the hell?
The show will begin momentarily.
Oh, nah.
Everyone, please stay in your seats.
Enter Circus Baby and the Funtime animatronics. These robots were specifically built by Afton to capture kids, featuring Circus Baby, Funtime Freddy, Funtime Foxy, and Ballora. They feature advanced technology such as parental tracking, voice mimicking / luring, and storage tanks. Circus Baby, the star of the group, was even able to make ice cream as a way to lure kids to her. Once the kid got too close, a giant claw would reach out, grab them, and lock them in the animatronics storage tank. Some of the board members from Fazbear Entertainment were suspicious of these new animatronics.
She can dance. She can sing. She's equipped with a built-in helium tank for inflating balloons right at her fingertips. She can take song requests. She can even dispense ice cream.
She could dispense ice cream. Like that's the thing that makes her the best part. The best part is she makes ice cream.
Afton even created
she could even dispense ice cream.
These animatronics called Circus Baby's Pizza World. Elizabeth, William Afton's daughter, was fascinated by Circus Baby.
Here we go.
All she wanted to do was play with her, but
of course,
Afton
it's a kid.
wouldn't let her.
Daddy, why won't you let me play with her? You let the other children go see her. Why won't you let me go?
He strictly told her to stay away from the animatronic, but one day she didn't listen. On the opening day of Circus Baby's Pizza World, another domino would fall in Afton's life, and Elizabeth would soon be the victim of his terrible misdeeds.
I can do something special. Did you know that? I can make ice cream, although I only did it once.
The best design ever.
Day, though. I was in a small room.
Nothing I love more than ice cream.
And a few tables. I would always count the children. I'm not sure why. They usually played together in groups of 2 or 3. There were 4, then 3, then 2.
Oh no.
Then 1.
Oh hell no. Get away from me, please. Oh hell nah. Damn, they're so tall. Are they normally actually this tall? Holy. Oh, wait, actually, to fit your child, so it'll be a little bit taller.
Ice cream.
Oh, there we go. We got ice cream, guys. What the hell? My ice cream. No. No, she got turned to ice cream, guys.
Something happened.
She turned to ice cream.
I was no longer myself. There was screaming for a moment, but only for a moment.
In an instant, Elizabeth was grabbed by Circus Baby and
turned into
thrown
ice cream.
into her stomach hatch. The sheer force of her being grabbed and thrown into the robot's storage tank was enough to kill her almost instantly.
Oh, wow.
This is something that William wasn't able to test. That was until his daughter became the
Wow.
test. William Afton now lost another.
Can we put
one of
William
his
Afton for
kids,
turning
but this
Elizabeth to
time
ice cream,
it was
bro?
all his fault.
That's so
After
messed
just
up.
one day of being open, Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down. Afton covered up the incident by telling the public that the restaurant shut down due to gas leaks. But not everyone bought that
Yeah,
story.
I'll believe that.
The local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying, in other news, the grand opening of Circus Baby's Pizza
Not
World
because of
has
the
apparently
other
been
murders that we've done
canceled due
before,
to
just because of
reported
the gas leaks.
in the building. Sources close to the establishment questioned the report, saying that strange activity around the area at night suggests something else is to blame. One local is quoted as saying, "Everything just stopped. There was so much excitement built around this place opening, and then they just stopped talking about it." A tenant from across the street claims to have witnessed a large group of cars surrounding the building during the night, and large pieces of equipment being taken out of the building under tarps. A few weeks later, the building was for sale. There is no comment yet from the local entrepreneur who financed the venture.
Wow.
That local entrepreneur, William Afton, successfully covered up everything.
That'd be covered. No one will think that we killed kids, even though we did it before.
Back down into his bunker. But once he got them there, he noticed something was different about Circus Baby. One distinct feature about Circus Baby was her blue eyes. But what once was blue eyes now were green, the same color as Elizabeth's. In that moment, he knew that his daughter's soul attached itself to the robot. Her soul lived on in Circus Baby. Afton knew that the way Charlie went on to possess the puppet was sloppy, and it was hard to recreate without getting caught. But what if the kids' bodies were hidden where no one would ever look? What if, just like his daughter, their bodies were stuffed into the animatronics?
And turned into ice cream.
Elizabeth's death quickly went from just another inconvenience to a scientific breakthrough. Afton was one step closer to harnessing the power of life itself. But one successful experiment wasn't enough. Just like the fear experiments he built in the bunker, he needed to replicate exactly what happened. He needed to recreate the accident. And he knew exactly how he was going to do it.
Time to kill more kids.
Animatronics again wasn't an option. Circus Baby's Pizza World was shut down, and the public was already getting too suspicious of the animatronics. But he didn't need the Funtime animatronics.
Of course
he was going to run the experiment himself. On June 26, 1985, William Afton made his way to Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. There, he would put on the old spring Bonnie suit from Fredbear's to lure five kids into the back room.
Took a swim with my new
They'll be drawing.
Didn't care, I jumped.
Oh, they even got arcade games in here. Oh, hell nah.
Hello.
What a nice voice.
Looking for a friend?
No, I'm not looking for a friend right now.
Swim with me.
Damn. Yippee! We're in Five Nights at Freddy's, guys. We got to meet Freddy, Chica, Bonnie. This guy. Oh wow. This is...
One by one, Afton killed them and stuffed their
This
bodies
is so dark.
into the animatronics. Susie was first, being stuffed into Chica. Gabriel went into Freddy, Jeremy into Bonnie, Fritz into Foxy, and then there was Cassidy, who went into Fredbear, aka Golden Freddy. At this point, Afton had no idea that the crying child spirit was in Golden Freddy.
Anyway, I was in Golden Freddy, bro.
About shoving Cassidy in there. The way Afton killed Cassidy,
They put me into
was
Golden
different
Freddy's,
from
bro.
the rest. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy were just regular animatronics. animatronics. Afton had no choice but to kill them, then stuff them into the suits.
Right,
But
that's really normal to think.
It wasn't just a regular animatronic, it was a Springlock suit. The same Springlock suit that took his youngest son's life.
Right.
Afton was aware of how dangerous the Springlocks were. Any bit of moisture or too much movement would cause them to snap shut.
Holy, that would
slowly
hurt
killing
bad.
whoever was inside.
Right.
So that's exactly what he did to Cassidy. He put him into the suit and watched as the Springlocks snapped shut.
Holy,
nah,
William Afton is so
as the
fucked
most
up.
brutal of them all.
Right.
Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, and Golden Freddy weren't the only animatronics sitting in the back room of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, though. They were joined by the security puppet, which
and I
contained
joined
the
them too.
soul
Remember
of
that? I
Henry's
was part of the
daughter,
team too.
Once Afton was gone, Charlie jumped into action, almost acting as a guide for their souls, properly giving them
Look,
life
he's about to give me
inside of
life.
each animatronic. After the incident, the kids were quickly reported missing by their families. And although the security cameras caught Afton luring the kids away, he wasn't able to fully get in trouble. Since he was wearing the Spring Bonnie suit, they were never able to prove it was actually him. Afton also hid the kids' bodies where no one would ever look, so the bodies were never found. Unbelievably, Afton was able to get away with yet another crime. Because of all the bad press that came from the missing children's incident, people stopped coming to the pizzeria.
Okay, wait, one question.
Months of
How does he get away with 3 murders at this point? Like, he's literally, every time something's associated with Freddy Fazbear, people die. Like, how is he getting away with this?
Customers no longer showing up, Fazbear Entertainment officially shut down Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. Shortly after the pizzeria shut down, Afton decided to pull the Funtime animatronics out of retirement and finally get his underground facility fully operational. He knew he couldn't try opening another Circus Babies restaurant, so he had a new idea.
Due to the massive success and even more so the unfortunate closing of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, it was clear that the stage was set, no pun intended, for another contender in children's entertainment. Unlike most entertainment venues, our robotic entertainers are rented out for private parties during the day.
Afton opened Circus Babies Entertainment and Rental. This way, he could rent out the Funtime animatronics to local birthday parties, capture kids, and bring them back to his underground bunker to be experimented on. While Afton was running his rental business, Fazbear Entertainment was determined to try opening another pizzeria. In the summer of 1987, Fazbear Entertainment opened the new and improved Freddy Fazbear's Pizza, this time with brand new versions of their original characters. These were called the toy animatronics, and they were once again built by Henry. Henry was aware of what happened in 1985, and especially of what happened to his daughter, so he was determined to make sure that never happened again. These new toy animatronics were equipped with facial recognition systems that were linked directly to a criminal database. The security puppet was also brought out of retirement, but instead of working security, it sat quietly in the prize corner. Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, Foxy, Golden Freddy, and Spring Bonnie were also moved to the new pizzeria, and it's revealed that these animatronics were mostly used for spare parts.
Of course, I'm sure you've noticed the older models sitting in the back room.
No, Freddy!
Those are from the previous location, and we just use them for parts now. The idea at first was to repair them, but they were just so ugly, you know? And the smell.
This means that the haunted metal of the original Freddy's animatronics was now being put into the toy animatronics.
Oh, yeah, that makes more sense,
causing the toys to also now be possessed.
Because
After Afton
it went to
got
the
away with
other
the first set of murders, he needed to see if the kids' spirits were possessing the animatronics. In order to see for himself, Afton went back to work at the new pizzeria as a daytime security guard. While Afton was working the day shift, Jeremy Fitzgerald was working the night shift. Jeremy worked there for 5 nights, and unfortunately for him, because the kids possessing the animatronics were killed by an adult, they were extremely aggressive to any adult they encountered.
So he's the person that you pressed for FNAF too.
Just fine, but when they encounter an adult, they just stare.
Meanwhile, Afton decided to pull the same trick he did at the old Freddy's location, gaining 5 more victims.
Someone used one of the suits. We had a spare in the back, a yellow one. Someone used it.
Afton used the Spring Bonnie suit to pull the same stunt again.
You know, he
on
did it
5
again.
more kids. But as he was committing the murders, Charlie from inside the puppet was actively trying to save the kids. She tried enlisting the help of the other animatronics, but it was too late. Afton had already finished what he started. Not only that, him seeing the puppet and Freddy walking around the pizzeria trying to stop him was all the proof he needed that his experiments were successful. The kids he put into the original suits were haunting the animatronics. animatronics. But there was one problem. Afton knew that the haunted metal of the endoskeletons was the key to everything, but the animatronics were trapped at the pizzeria. There was no way he could bring them back to his underground bunker. He couldn't get to the animatronics if the pizzeria was still open and active. So he needed to find a way to make sure the pizzeria shuts down and fast. Instead of stuffing the new set of victims into the toy animatronics, he decided to leave the kids out in plain sight.
Damn, that's even more crazy.
This was a
He's an actual psychopath.
way to get the pizzeria shut down. A few hours after Afton committed the murders, Jeremy Fitzgerald showed up for his night shift, unaware of what happened that day.
Hello. What on earth are you doing there? Didn't you get the memo? The place is closed down, at least for a while. Listen, just finish your shift. It's safer than trying to leave in the middle of the night. We have one more event scheduled for tomorrow, a birthday. You'll be on day shift. Wear your uniform. Stay close to the animatronics and make sure they don't hurt anyone, okay?
The next day, during Jeremy's day shift, one of the animatronics bit him in the head. This was infamously known as
Is that the Bite of 87?
Meanwhile, Afton successfully got the pizzeria shut down. The local newspaper wrote about the incident, saying, after being open only a few short weeks, Freddy Fazbear's Pizza is closing its doors. The new animatronics will be scrapped due to possible malfunctions. However, the original characters are being kept in hopes of a possible reorganization of the company. Since the toy animatronics were now being scrapped, he knew he could get away with taking their endoskeletons. But he also knew that he couldn't risk showing his face at the pizzeria again. So he got his oldest son, Michael, to do the work for him. William was easily able to get Michael to do whatever he wanted. William was abusive and manipulative, while Michael was haunted by the guilt of what he did to his younger brother. Because of this, Michael basically acted as William's puppet. Michael showed up for the night shift at the now
I feel bad for Michael, not gonna lie.
Fazbear's Pizza under a code name, Fritz Smith. At the end of his shift, he would successfully steal the toy animatronics endoskeletons for his father, causing him to get fired his first day on the job due to tampering with the animatronics.
Oh,
as it said
that
in the
makes
local
sense.
newspaper, while Fazbear Entertainment
Anyway, broke out paid
scrapped the
$20
toy
to do this.
animatronics, the original Freddy, Bonnie, Chica, and Foxy
I would not be
were going
doing
to
the
fixed
job.
up and reused. And that's exactly what they did. After the 1987 Freddy's location shut down, they opened yet another location, this time using the exact same building as the first Freddy Fazbear's Pizza. As you can imagine, this didn't work out great for the business. People already had a bad impression of Fazbear Entertainment, so using the same building that the original murders took place in didn't help business.
Why would they go back?
Customers barely showed up to the new pizzeria, leading it to shut down by the end of 1993.
Now this makes sense.
Although this was bad news for Fazbear Entertainment, this was great news for William Afton. Afton was able to acquire the endos of the toy animatronics, but that wasn't enough. He needed all of the haunted endoskeletons, especially the ones in the original animatronics. Once the pizzeria shut down, Afton came up with the plan to steal the endos from the animatronics. Each pizzeria was designed with something called a safe room.
As always, if there is ever an emergency, please go to the designated safe room. Every location is built with one extra room that is not included in the digital map layouts programmed into the animatronics or security system.
Oh, wow.
This room is hidden to customers, invisible to animatronics, and is always off camera.
This room was hidden from guests and invisible
what is this
to the
room for?
animatronics.
I know it's a safe room, but
luring
is it
each
just
of
because
the
of the safe or
animatronics to
something?
the
I don't know.
safe room
I don't
and
know how that works.
dismantling them one by one. The kids possessing these animatronics were the same kids he lured into the back room all those years ago. He planned to use the same trick to lure the same kids all over again.
Oh, wow. Oh, Bonnie ain't happy. Sorry, out of order. Oh wow. Bunch of the animatronics got taken down. What the hell? Oh no. Foxy, behind you! No! No!
Once he finished
Foxy!
dismantling each animatronic and stealing their endoskeleton, he brought them down to his underground bunker, where he would melt them all down into one liquid substance called remnant. Not only did Afton rob these kids of their lives, he would use their souls long after they're gone for his own personal gain.
Oh wow. Oh, this animation is really cool. Damn, this is really sad. Wow, there we go. There they go.
By melting down the endos, he successfully created remnant.
That was actually such a good animation right there.
Containing the spirits of all of the missing children was silver in color, and if kept at the right temperature, was malleable. Afton didn't want to risk testing the remnant on himself, so he injected it into the Funtime animatronics. Once he did, the animatronics jumped to life. The
What the hell? They became alive?
Worked. William Afton unlocked the power of life itself. After his successful experiment,
so it's like he collected the souls and put the souls into the animatronics.
Spring Bonnie suit. But once he got there, he was met with the spirits of the 5 missing children, trapping him inside the safe room.
Yeah, trap
Cassidy,
him.
the spirit inside Golden Freddy, chased Afton around the room and forced him to get into the Spring Bonnie suit.
Beat him up, guys.
Cassidy was the most vengeful spirit of them all. Being spring-locked in the Fredbear suit was a painful and slow death, and he wanted to make sure that Afton knew what that felt like. At this point, Afton knew how a spirit could live on. As long as he was inside the suit, he knew he'd be back.
Wow. Oh, what the hell? Is he dying? Oh my god. Ain't no way.
As Afton laughed, the Springlocks snapped shut, forcing him to go through what Cassidy went through. This was an act of revenge by Cassidy, and it wouldn't be the last. Afton was now confined to the safe room
the same way
of the now
as
shut down Freddy
Golden
Fazbear's
Freddy.
Pizza. And because of this, everything in his underground bunker was left abandoned. But even with Afton gone, the rental business continued on its own.
Wait, how did that happen?
Animatronics containing the spirits of the missing children and even his daughter Elizabeth were still being rented out during the day and then brought right back down to the bunker. All the spirits wanted to do was escape, but they were always put back underground. After Afton went missing, his eldest son Michael, who's been blindly helping his father, remembered what his father told him if he ever went missing. If William wasn't there to finish his work, Michael would do it for him. Afton's underground facility was always off limits to Michael, but since he was now gone, Michael had no choice. He took the elevator down to where his father worked every day. Although
I still don't understand how he made this place, by the way.
Some of the endos from the animatronics back in the day, he never exactly knew what William was doing until he got down into the bunker.
Oh wow, this place is creepy as hell.
Over the several days he visited the bunker, he learned more about what his father was up to. He learned about the massive facility his father built, complete with multiple rooms conducting fear experiments. He learned the truth behind the Funtime animatronics and how they were actually designed to kidnap kids.
Damn.
And he learned through the voice of Baby exactly
that she got turned
how
into
his
ice
sister
cream.
died.
No.
A little girl, standing by herself. My stomach opened, and there was ice cream.
No.
I couldn't move. At least, not until
I told you
she
guys,
stepped
it turned into ice
closer.
cream.
But as the week went on, Baby
The
was
ice cream got
conducting
her.
a plan of her own. A plan to escape the bunker using Michael's body. Elizabeth was
Damn,
no
that's
longer
really-
the person Michael remembered her as. She was entirely devoted to her father and would do anything to make him proud of her. At the end of the week, all of the Funtime animatronics endos were scooped out, with all of them combining into one animatronic called Ennard. This creature, containing the spirits of the missing kids and Elizabeth, knew they wouldn't be able to escape the bunker looking like an animatronic. They needed a human body to walk around in.
What the hell?
You are in the scooping room now. Funtime Foxy has already been here today. Funtime Freddy has already been here today.
Lil Man has already been here.
Melora has already been
No, they
here
captured me, guys.
Circus Baby has already been here today.
They captured me too, guys.
I've been out before, but they always put me back. They always put us back inside. There's nowhere for us to hide here. There is nowhere to go when we look like this. But if we looked like you, then we could hide.
Oh, hell no.
If we looked like you, then we would have somewhere to go.
You could go somewhere else, please.
The scooper only hurts for a moment.
What do you mean the scooper? Am I gonna turn to ice cream too? No.
Michael Afton's
got turned
insides
to
got
ice cream.
scooped out and replaced by Ennard, helping all of the souls to escape the
So everybody
facility.
becomes ice cream,
With every
basically.
passing day after this happened, Michael looked more and
No.
more like a walking zombie. His skin was starting to turn purple, and
Ew.
people started to notice. Michael's body was no longer a good disguise for Ennard, so Ennard ejected itself from
What?
Michael. But because the scooper was also a remnant injector, when Michael Afton was scooped, he was also injected with remnant. The remnant made it so even after Ennard was gone, he was still able to survive. With Michael now back in
so
full
now
control
he
of
has
his
like a
body,
bunch of souls
he
or
had
something.
a new mission. Although he did, one way or another, successfully free his sister from the underground facility,
Right.
he also learned about all of his father's terrible misdeeds. His loyalty to his father turned to disgust. It was time for him to end all of this.
Father, it's me, Michael.
It's me,
I
Lil
did
Man.
it. I found it. It was right where you said it would be. They were all there. They didn't recognize me at first, but then they thought I was you.
Damn.
And I found her.
Why does he sound British?
Put her back together, just like you asked me to. She's free now. But something is wrong with me. I should be dead.
Anyway, broke up my eyes.
But I'm not. I've been living in shadows. There is only one thing left for me to do now. I'm going to come find you.
What the hell?
I'm going to come find you.
I don't think his son is very happy with him.
Michael would spend years searching for his father with no luck, until a new ad in the local newspaper caught his attention. Someone decided to open something called Fazbear's Fright, the horror attraction. Local amusement
hell?
park is getting ready to scare your socks off with a new attraction based on the unsolved mysteries of Freddy Fazbear's Pizza.
Wait, who
Featuring
opened this up?
actual relics from the decades-old pizzeria, this new attraction is guaranteed to bring back your childhood in the worst possible way. As if using the crimes of his father to make a profit wasn't bad enough, they also went back to the old pizzerias and collected any objects they could find to put on display at the attraction. Michael immediately applied for the job of the security guard with the sole intention of burning the place to the ground. When he got there, he saw the remnants of his past, the shells of all of the animatronics, missing every single one of their endoskeletons. He knew they could only find the shells of the animatronics because he and his father stole their endoskeletons all those
they
years
took them
ago,
all.
leaving only the shells behind. On day 2 of working at the attraction, he got word that they found a real animatronic.
You're not gonna believe this. We found one. A real one.
This real animatronic ended up being his father, still inside the Spring Bonnie suit he died
he looks
in
gross
decades
now.
ago. Even though his father was now in the building with him, he still decided to go through on his plan, all in an effort to end his father once and for all. Michael then rigged the wiring in the building to catch fire, burning the horror attraction to the ground.
Damn, in a way he burned his father, bro. Michael, I'm burning. Michael. Michael!
The local newspaper would write about the fire, saying a new local attraction based on an ancient pizzeria chain burned down overnight. Authorities have not ruled out foul play, but at the moment it seems to have been caused by faulty wiring. Although the fire destroyed most of everything in the building, William, miraculously, was able to survive. William was now free, roaming the outside world along with the souls of the missing children, Elizabeth, and Charlie inside the puppet. Since Michael wasn't able to end everything, someone else needed to step in. That someone was Henry Emily. Afton's old business partner and father of Charlie heard about the fire at Fazbear's Fright, along with the rumors of the various animatronic creatures now roaming the streets. Henry was determined to put an end to all of this.
W. Henry, bro. He came back.
It's only now that I understand the depth of the depravity of this creature, this
Damn, he has a
monster
sexy
that I
ass voice.
unwillingly helped to create. As if what he had already done wasn't enough. He found a new way to desecrate, to humiliate, to destroy. As if the suffering wasn't enough. The loss of innocence, the loss of everything to so many people. Small souls trapped in prisons of my making, now set to new purpose, and used in ways I never thought imaginable. He lured them all back to a familiar place, back with familiar tricks. He brought them all together. Are they still aware? I hope not. It keeps me awake at night. I could make myself sleep, but not yet. Not until I undo what he has done and heal this wound. A wound first inflicted on me, but then one that I let bleed out to cause all of this. He set some kind of trap. I don't know what it was, but he led them there again. He overpowered them again.
Oh, wow.
And he robbed them of the only thing that they had again. I don't know how those tiny breaths of life came to inhabit those machines, but they will never find rest now. Not like this. I have to call them all back, all of them, together in one place.
By gathering all of the animatronics in one place and locking them in the same room, he would be able to burn them all to the ground for good, effectively freeing their spirits in the process. In order to do this, Henry created a new restaurant called Freddy Fazbear's Pizza Place. He knew that the spirits and William couldn't resist coming back to a new location, even if it was all just a trap. Charlie was different though. She was smarter than the rest, so Henry knew she wouldn't be as easily fooled. So he created an animatronic called Lefty, standing for lure, encapsulate, fuse, transport, and extract, specifically to capture the puppet and bring it to the pizzeria. While trying to find someone that would help him carry out his plan, one person showed up for the job, a person who was also determined to finally end all of this, Michael Afton. Day after day, the animatronics roaming the streets would show up in the alleyway next to the pizzeria. Baby, aka Elizabeth, the souls of the missing children and the crying child, now appearing as Molten Freddy, Charlie and Lefty, and his father, William, all showed up in the back alley. Michael would then collect each animatronic and throw them into a facility under the pizzeria, designed to be a maze with no exit, where the animatronics would roam around without even knowing they're trapped, until the end of the week, where they would all be burned to the ground. With all of the souls, including William himself, now in one place, Henry's plan was in motion. As far as Elizabeth and William were concerned, this was a good thing. All of this remnant now in one place was all that they wanted, until Henry stepped in.
You played right into our hands. Did you really think that this job just fell out of the sky for you?
Oh, wait, right.
This was a gift.
It's hard to get jobs these days.
You gathered them all together in one place, just like he asked you to. All of those little souls in one place, just for us. A gift. Now we can do what we were created to do and be complete. I will make you proud, Daddy. Watch, listen, and be full.
Connection terminated. I'm sorry to interrupt you, Elizabeth, if you still even remember that name. But I'm afraid you've been misinformed. You are not here to receive a gift, nor have you been called here by the individual you assume, although you have indeed been called. You have all been called here, into a labyrinth of sounds and smells, misdirection, and misfortune. A labyrinth with no exit, a maze with no prize. You don't even realize that you are trapped. Your lust for blood has driven you in endless circles, chasing the cries of children in some unseen chamber, always seeming so near, yet somehow out of reach. But you will never find them. None of you will. This is where your story ends. And to you, my brave volunteer, who somehow found this job listing not intended for you. Although there was a way out planned for you, I have a feeling that's not what you want. I have a feeling that you are right where you want to be. I am remaining as well. I am nearby. This place will not be remembered, and the memory of everything that started this can finally begin to fade away, as the agony of every tragedy should. And to you monsters trapped in the corridors, be still, and give up your spirits. They don't belong to you. For most of you, I believe there is peace, and perhaps more, waiting for you after the smoke clears. Although for one of you, the darkest pit of hell has opened to swallow you whole. So don't keep the devil waiting, old friend. My daughter, if you can hear me, I knew you would return as well. It's in your nature to protect the innocent. I'm sorry that on that day, the day you were shut out and left to die, no one was there to lift you up into their arms, the way you lifted others into yours. And then, what became of you? I should have known you wouldn't be content to disappear. Not my daughter. I couldn't save you then, so let me save you now. It's time to rest, for you, and for those you have carried in your arms. This ends, for all of us, in communication.
Holy
Henry
shit!
Fire to the animatronics may have freed the spirits from the metal of the robots, but some of them still
cinema as
needed
fuck.
help
What the hell?
actually moving on into
I
the
actually forgot I was
afterlife.
recording. I'm
This
gonna lie
help
to you
would
because I was
come
literally
from
quiet the whole
Charlie.
time.
She helped guide the spirits into
That
the
was actually such a
robots.
good
Now she would help
speech.
them
Was that in the
move
game or
on.
was
In
that
the world of
they
Five
didn't
Nights
make
at
that?
Freddy's, the way a spirit can move on is by them being put into a happy memory. The memory Charlie chose actually comes from the crying child and the day he got bit. Piece by piece, Charlie put that terrible shattered memory back together, but this time she would change it into a happy memory. Instead of the crying child getting bit on his birthday, Charlie changed it so that all of the missing kids and Charlie would celebrate him, giving him a giant birthday cake. By changing that terrible memory into a happy one and attaching all of the spirits to it, they were able to successfully pass into the afterlife.
Oh wow, this is wholesome as hell.
Like I said, they were all able to move on, except for one.
Oh no. Oh no, William Afton?
Cassidy, the most vengeful spirit of them all, wasn't done yet. He decided to attach his soul to William's, making sure that William was unable to move on. By attaching his spirit to William's, he was able to trap Afton in an endless loop of death. He made Afton relive every one of his terrible misdeeds. The fear experiments, his underground bunker, and the pizzeria where Cassidy was killed. Afton experienced all of this while being attacked and killed over and over again by all of the animatronics from his past. Every time an animatronic would attack him, Cassidy would be there, reminding him that the suffering will never end.
We've only just begun. I will never let you leave. I will never let you rest.
He tried to release you, He tried to release us, but I'm not gonna let that happen. I will hold you here. I will keep you here, no matter how many times they burn us.
Cassidy knew that Afton didn't deserve the afterlife. He deserved to pay for what he's done for all of eternity. But if you keep up with the franchise, you know that that's not the end of the story. Like I said at the beginning of the video, making a FNAF timeline is not easy, no matter what anyone says. In broad strokes, you can explain the basic plot, but once you get down to the motivations and the why of everything, you have to start filling in the blanks yourself. Some people who've helped me fill in the blanks that I'd like to shout out are Right Host for his theory about Cassidy being springlocked in Golden Freddy. I think that makes a lot of sense and is really satisfying for the narrative. Also, I'd like to shout out MatPat for his theory about Midnight Motorist. After trying to figure that minigame out for years, I think your explanation makes the most sense. It's important for me to say that no one except for Scott Cawthon himself knows the exact story he was trying to tell. So please make sure to watch other people's timelines as well and come to your own conclusion on everything. And when the time is right, I'll be back to tackle the newer games in this franchise. Until then, make sure to subscribe and thanks for watching.
Oh wow, this is actually such a good video, guys. I don't even know what to say, but this is actually such a good video. As always, if you like the video, leave a like, comment, subscribe. Also subscribe to this guy because this guy's video was so good. I'm not even gonna lie to you, like this video was actually amazing. Also, if you would like to recommend anything from FNAF, or maybe you want to recommend anything else, leave it in the comments. And as always, I hope y'all enjoyed it.